afternoon and happy Thursday. It's Alyssa Quorum and Ken Shreve here with a look at the stock market today. And on today's show, we're going to be analyzing the charts of Qualys, Barrick Gold, and Dexcom. But first, let's take a look at those major indexes. So this is the chart of the NASDAQ here, and we did see gains across the board today, Ken. The NASDAQ finishing up 0.8%. The S&P 500 with the strongest gain of the three main major indexes, up 1.5%, the Dow up 1.2%, but the Russell 2000 logging a gain of 4.6% today. So strength noticeable among small caps.
Yeah, no doubt about it. There was sort of a wave of selling that came into the market late, but stocks managed to close off lows, and like you said, managed pretty decent gains by the close. So just looking at a chart of the NASDAQ here, you can see that dark line, the 200-day moving average, that's around 8,400. So this is if the NASDAQ continues to rally, it's been a nice uptrend so far, but it could bump up against that 200-day line and possibly find resistance. So we'll be watching how it reacts around that level. You mentioned the outperformance of the Russell 2000 small cap stocks today. Second day in a row, the index was up 4.6%. It ended with a weekly gain of 18.5%. So we saw some weekly gains for the not only the Russell 2000, but the Dow was up 12.7% for the week.
Right.
So really big week for the stock market. A lot of headlines. Oil was very volatile, up 12% at one point on news of a possible output cut. Then it actually settled lower by 9%. Gold prices surged. So a lot of busy headlines today.
Yeah, and really strong gains for the week, as you mentioned, as this uptrend looks to solidify, and we're keeping an eye out on those upcoming potential resistance levels and keeping an eye also on potential setups here. So let's take a look at Qualys, because we've definitely been keeping our eye on this one. A very strong gain today for the security software stock, up almost 6% here in very strong volume, adding to strong gains yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, this is really a rarity in the stock market because when you're in a confirmed stock market uptrend, it's typically good to see growth stocks leading the charge. You want to see stocks in good technical setups that are breaking out to new highs. That really hasn't been the case in recent days. I mean, we are in a very solid confirmed uptrend here, but a lot of the strength has come from the stocks that have been hit the hardest.
Right.
Your airline stocks have been outperforming. Your hotel operators. So just a lot of kind of beaten down merchandise has been among the strongest performers. But Qualys definitely is what technical breakout looks like. This is a stock with a very nice composite rating from IBD. It's got good fundamentals, definitely showing signs of institutional buying here. You don't want to chase it. It's probably a little bit extended from that 94.82 buy point. But if this market uptrend, keeps going, we'd like to see more technical breakouts like Qualys, and we are still seeing setups out there that just need a little more time to take shape.
Yeah, exactly. And as you mentioned, a little extended here, which is super easy to see on these MarketSmith charts. We do have that 5% chase zone shaded in blue right there for you on the chart. So it's really easy to see where that buy zone is. And as Ken mentioned, you definitely don't want to be chasing a stock. So always good to keep in mind where that chase zone is.
Yeah, no doubt, and also remember that it's pretty common for stocks to revisit buy points after a breakout. So if you do get a low volume pullback for Qualys, maybe sometime next week, that would put the stock back in that 5% buy zone. But when a stock pulls back to a buy point, you typically like to see that decline in lower volume. You want to avoid buying if a stock pulls back in volatile fashion and very heavy volume to a buy point. So we'll see how Qualys looks next week.
For sure. And let's also check in on Barrick Gold, a gold miner here, a strong gain today, over 10%. Also seeing that relative strength line hitting a new high, outlined with that aqua blue dot there, which is very nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, gold stocks were a big story in the stock market. We mentioned again today a lot of the best performing groups were stocks that actually ranked near the bottom of our 197 industry group rankings. But gold miners were among the top performers. So wanted to take a look at Barrick Gold here. This is a breakout candidate definitely as it approaches its prior high of 22.57. Good volume behind today's move, so we'll see if this one can follow through on Monday and ultimately stage a technical breakout here.
Yes, and Dexcom is another name that has been on our radar, and it's now back near a buy point. And Ken, what do you make of the action that we're seeing here? A gain of almost 7% today. Volume a little on the light side, it looks like, but that handle is pretty compelling.
Yeah, and this is a stock that has bounced back nicely after a pretty volatile session on Tuesday earlier this week. This one's been appearing in a lot of our growth screens for good reason. It's one of the leading diabetes stocks out there. But and I know the stock was discussed on the show earlier this week. But you want to pay attention to stocks that really have the potential to lead here. This base formed after Dexcom came down to its 200-day moving average and found support. So you still have a handle buy point in play here. I believe it's around 281 if memory, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
281.07. And it was a nice rally today, and not much volume, but the buy point is still in play here, and so we're still expecting good things from Dexcom.
Yes, definitely. And we're seeing it getting closer and closer to that potential buy point. So it remains on our short list of high quality stocks that are approaching buy points. Now that we are in a confirmed uptrend, again, just recapping, we did get that follow through day from the S&P 500 last Thursday and a follow through day from the NASDAQ earlier this week, which was uh, definitely more bullish than the one that we saw for the S&P 500. So it's important to make sure that that watch list that you were keeping during the correction is ready and at hand so you can be ready to strike.
Yeah, and I think also IBD readers and visitors to investors.com need to realize that just because growth stocks aren't entirely working right now doesn't mean they won't be working in coming weeks. Because when you see a sign of strength in the market, and again, we saw the initial sign of strength in the Russell 2000 all the way back on March 24th. That was technically the first index to follow through. You mentioned the
Mm-hmm.
S&P 500 follow through last week, and more follow through for the Dow and Nasdaq this week. So sometimes it takes a little while for leaders to set up. So there's still a lot of bases forming out there, and it's pretty typical to see new leaders emerge several weeks after a follow through day. So be patient, let the setups emerge, and if this uptrend keeps working, we should start to see more and more breakouts.
That's right. And our team is, even though we're still waiting on those best setups to happen, our team is getting a little bit of exposure in the market. So, for all of the details on how our team of experts is handling their portfolio right now, and with the market conditions that we're seeing day by day, giving you that detailed analysis of how you should really be approaching your trades. Make sure you check out IBD Live. It's definitely a great place to start the trading day, right, Ken?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And like I said, when you're in a confirmed uptrend, you want to be patient. You don't need to feel like you have to force the issue and buy sub quality stocks. You want to let the setups present themselves. Some people may feel like they're missing out on this rally because growth stocks haven't obviously kicked into gear yet. But if this uptrend does have staying power, it's only a matter of time before we'll see more and more breakouts emerge.
Yes, that's right. And you can check out IBD Live, our show that runs through the first hour plus of the trading day at investors.com/IBD Live. And that's it from us. It's a shortened trading week. We hope you have a great long weekend, and we'll see you right back here on Monday.